Dear students, today we shall just discuss uh, poem second, Went, which is prescribed in class 9th NCERT English. Dear students, this poem is quite remarkable from so many point of views. Went has been basically composed by Subramania Bharati, who is a Tamil poet, and later on it has been translated into English by A.K. Ramanuja, one of the most promising Indian poet as well as writer. As we all know that wind is a natural phenomena. In this poem, the poet talks to the wind, and the poet linked the destructive power of the wind to the adversities of life. Adversities means opposite circumstances of life, and says that the weak people break down, but strong people emerge out of adversity victorious. Isn't it? So, in this way, the first part of the poem describes the action of the wind. The poet asks the wind to come softly, isn't it? The poet says that the wind makes a mockery of the weaklings. It brings down frail houses, crumbling doors, rafters, and even weak houses. Let's take a look of the text. In this video we shall discuss about the first part of the poem, and the second part we shall discuss in the next video as well. Let's have a look. See the text. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. Then look what you did. You threw them all down. What does the poet say? The poet makes a request to the wind in the above lines. He asks the wind to come softly. So he says that the wind should not be very strong and loud. It should be very soft and subtle. He says that the wind is very powerful. It is destructive. It breaks the shutters of the windows, scatter the papers. It put the books down from the shelf. Isn't it? These are the actions of the destructive attitude of the wind. And see the remarkable line. Now, what he says ki, look what you did. You threw them all down. Pointing out towards the actions of the wind, the poet says ki, please see what you have done. You just threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought a rain again. Wind causes the rain, thunder and lightning. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. This line is quite remarkable. The poet actually satires, and says that how clever the wind is. The wind is quite clever at poking fun at weaklings, means weak people or weak things. Maybe that weak houses, weak doors, weak rafters, weak bodies, weak lives, and weak hearts as well. So according to the poet, wind is quite destructive. It crushes and destroys the weak things, weak doors. The word crumbling has been repeated over here. It is quite remarkable as well. It means everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. Strong wind means challenges of life, difficulties of life. So weak people always succumb to difficulties of life. They can not survive in long run. On the other hand, strong people, they emerge victorious. They always give their best in the difficulties of life. Isn't it? This is the ultimate truth of the life. Those who are strong, if you're very strong and ready to face the challenges of life, nothing can stop you. Then it is certain that you will emerge victorious. And sorry, if you fail to face the difficulties of life and succumb to difficulties, you will be finished. And this is the ultimate message of this poem, Wind. The poet says that the wind is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything which is weak. weak houses, weak doors, weak people, weak rafters or beams, weak hearts. Those who are emotionally down, they cannot survive for a long time. If you keep on shedding tears, sorry to say, nobody's there to just look after you. If you're ready to face the challenges of life, the whole world is after you. Once Shakespeare, the famous playwright, remarked, "Fortune favors the brave." My dear students, so this is the ultimate truth of life. If you're brave enough, nothing can check you. If you're weak enough and ready to succumb, if you're ready to give up, that you cannot make any progress at all. So that is why he says, you are very clever. You destroys only weak people or weakling. You make fun of weaklings. But strong people, strong things, you never destroy. You always, then over there, you are very much like a kind of opportunity of life. Challenges of life, the challenges of life are very much like an opportunity, golden opportunity. Why? Because just one gets a lot of chances to explore himself or herself. Your difficulties or challenges of life only give you a chance to flourish, to come out victorious. If you are in a easy zone that you are not going to explore anything, you are not going to do any remarkable things. Please see the history of the great men. They always give their best in the opposite circumstances of life. So this is the first part of the poem. Very strong message. So that is why the poet says that we should be mentally and physically very tough and strong in order to survive the hardship of life. We must make these destructive forces, challenges of life, our friends with our strength and determination. Isn't it? Crumbling means falling or to cause, something to break. Rafter means sloping beam which support the roof of the building. So hope you have understood the first part of the poem. Second part of the poem we shall discuss in the next video. Thank you so much. Stay safe.